of the battlefield. You know, the war is just the sort of the physical manifestation, the shooting on the ground of a larger conflict between the United States and Russia that goes back decades. A conflict which the United States has sought to destroy Russia, to bring it down. We had succeeded in basically having Russia submit to us in the 1990s after the Soviet Union collapsed. The presidency of Boris Yeltsin will go down in history as one of the most um, hated periods of Russian history because of what the West did to Russia, what Yeltsin allowed to be done to Russia. Vladimir Putin, of course, has reversed that trend, but that doesn't mean that the U.S. wasn't trying to get him done. The wars in Chechnya were American-driven conflicts designed to break up Russia. The United States has been engaged in economic warfare against Russia for some time now. We've been articulating to our European allies well before the destruction of the Nord Stream pipeline to stop buying cheap Russian energy, even though that's what made the European economic miracle possible. And then we have been engaged in the expansion of NATO for the sole purpose of bringing down Russia. In 2008, William Burns, U.S. ambassador to Russia, wrote a memorandum about the potential expansion of NATO to include Ukraine. And that memorandum noted that if we go through with this is a red line for Russia that would lead to, at a minimum, a civil war in Ukraine and likely force the Russians to make a decision whether to militarily intervene, costing Ukraine at a minimum the Donbass and Crimea. Every single word of that came true. But we invited Ukraine to join regardless. That memorandum was written in February of 2008. We invited in November, knowing what the outcome would be. The ambassador warned us. We've been searching for war. And then we economically sanctioned Russia at the beginning of this, in sanctions designed to destroy the Russian economy, bring down Russian domestic political society, and engender a revolution against Vladimir Putin. Vladimir Putin has won across the board. The sanctions have been reversed. It's the West that is collapsing. Russia is not diplomatically isolated. In fact, this year, Russia is leading the BRICS forum in Kazan, Russia in October, where we're going to see the continued expansion of BRICS to the detriment of the United States, the G7, the G20, NATO, the European Union. This is the unseen victory. Russia has emerged from this conflict, one of the most powerful nations in the world. Its defense industry today is churning out products like you wouldn't believe. Just to give you an example, 150 tanks a month minimum. That number can probably go up to, it's probably closer to 200, could reach 300 in surge production capabilities. United States, 44 tanks a month. Germany, maybe 100 a year. The bottom line is the Russians far outproduce anything the United States and NATO can bring to bear. Artillery shell production, the Russians are probably producing between 16 to 24 million rounds a year. They're expending around 10 million rounds a year, but that means that they have plenty left in storage as they rebuild their army, expanding from 900,000 to today, officially in their military, about 1.3, designed to go up to 1.5, but there's another 600,000 or so troops that are in the special military operation that aren't counted. That means that Russia's put into the field close to 2.1 million troops. The United States, meanwhile, can't meet recruiting goals. We were 15,000 short 2 years ago, 10,000 short last year. We had to reduce the size of the U.S. Army by 24,000 billets. We're shrinking as Russia's growing. This is part of the unseen Russian victory. And then the lessons they've learned from this conflict in terms of drone warfare and electronic warfare, the basic tactics of modern warfare. Russia is adapting these on a daily basis. They are the most combat-hardened military force in the world.
Don't wait for extraordinary opportunities. Seize common occasions and make them great. Weak men wait for opportunities. Strong men make them. Orison Swett Marden. Greatness lies not in being strong, but in the right use of strength. Henry Ward Beecher. Explanation. True greatness is not merely about having power, but about using it wisely and justly. The journey of 1,000 miles begins with one step. Lao Tzu. Explanation. Every significant achievement starts with a single action. The key to greatness is to take that first step and keep moving forward.